Hi, this is BlackBerry team, and we are Riwa.
Jakob.
Yakira.
And Jonathan.
And today we will talk about our BlackBerry speed dating app. And first we will talk a little about the implemented feature. So in the organizer view, we have the organizer view and the participant view. In organizer view, we managed to implement most of the feature that we talked about from the beginning, such like putting 10 participants and being able to unmatch them and see which round we are in. And in the participant view, we have also implemented a lot of interesting stuff, such like a rating system, for example, with stars and all the fancy things. And we have also a static sign-up page, which was also important as we thought about it from the beginning. However, there is some part that wasn't implemented. Mostly because of the time. So in the organizer view, for example, we cannot suspend a person from a matching. So for example, if we do not want some participant to be a part of this event anymore, so we cannot really suspend them. Because if you do unmatch, then you cannot play the event. We don't also have an exit from a viewed profile, which is I think that is really good to have. So if you view a profile, you cannot just exit from viewing this profile. We would like also to have a nicer layout of view profile. Another thing that we think is important is to warn about the exit event, so to prevent mistakes. So if a user just click exit by mistake, they will not really understand what happened, and there is no warning sign that say, are you sure you want to exit? In the participant view, we cannot prevent organizer from starting now round before the participant answer the form. So each participant need to send a rating, for example, and some answers for the event, and we cannot prevent the organizer from doing start round before all the participants have answered this form. We also have a little thing that when a participant sends rating and then they go again to the same page, they will have to, they can see their previous rating, and so we don't have a reset rating right now. We would like to have those stuff, but because of the time, so we couldn't really implement them. And now to some demonstration for our page and system.
This is the original view for both participants and the organizer. And while a participant may log in or sign up, for the event organizers, you can simply create one without an account as put forward in text. And assuming that the organizer has given every participant some code, they can join into the room, and the organizer will be notified of the number of participants as well as the unique room code that they will have. Clicking on match will lead you further into the principal organizer view. So this is the general layout of our participant view. Here you can see that we have several profiles matched up 2 and 2 and with their respective tables. You may notice that when you hover over a profile, they increase in size, and so hopefully the user will intuit that you can click on them. And from here you can either unmatch or view profile. They are buttons, and so when you click unmatched, you notice that there's a hole left after them. And here, since they are already unmatched, you can't unmatch them again or further, which makes a bit more logical sense. You can also click around several profiles and you will notice which one is selected or not. And you can deselect them as well by just clicking away from their profile. But a more hidden function, which may also seem more natural to some users, is that you simply choose a profile and then place them in, for example, unmatched. So you can rearrange however you want among these profiles as well. And so you end up with something more dynamic for the user. Now, if, for example, you have an unmatched profile you're not allowed to continue the round, which is one of the drawbacks we mentioned earlier. You can't, for example, if Henrik has left or he's not considered to be a good participant in this event, you can't just remove them completely, which is kind of well, it's a drawback which we would like to account for if this was a fully realized product. However, let's assume everyone is in good spirits as we begin the round. There is a start message, there is a timer, and so both the participants and the organizer are aware of which stage they're in. Now we can see that round 2, meaning we have continued into the next event. And here, view profile, there is some info about the person which is participating, age, gender, searching for hobbies. In this case, she doesn't have any. And some description as well as ratings from the previous match, if you remember that these two previously sat together. And after that, you can just continue the round until the last one, which will be round 3. And from here on, it's the same thing. The ratings are meant to update according to whichever person you were together with last time. This time it's 2 people. And when you continue until the last round, you will notice that there are 3 people and the event will have finished. And some nice message for the users. You can click around if you want, although there's not much use anymore. And so when you exit, you just click here and everything reverts back to the start page. And that's about the main functions, the principal idea behind the organizer view.
Oh. Yes, and I'm now gonna present to you the participant view. So here we have the main web page for the whole app. So the participant will come to this page and will either log in or sign up. So first, if the participant is new, gonna go to sign up, and here we see they can add their image, and then with this name field, they can write their name, something like that, and then they can write their password. They give their password here, and then they can give their contact info. And then hereafter, down here, they can decide what gender they have, and they can also sort of give some adjective about which person or what person they are. And after they adjust all these options, they can register, and then when they click on register, they go back to the same participant, and now they can actually log in here. And then when they log in, they come to the main view here, and here they can see their matches, which is a functionality that we haven't actually managed to implement. And the organizer will need actually to give all the participants a code. So here they can write their code, for example, AB123, and then they will click on join, which will take them to the event. And now they're gonna wait for the organizers actually to start the event. And here we have the organizer view, and then the organizer, after they have matched everyone, they can play. They gonna do play here, and then the event have started. So this is the first view for the participant. It shows who they are dating with a picture, the name, and here we have also at the end, we have somehow like a graph that shows how the tables are distributed. And now after the date is over, the participant needs actually to give some rating to their date. So good looks, common interest. So after they fill, they do send rating, and now they have to wait for the second round. And the organizer again will have to start the round. And here, so the organizer click on the play button here, and now the second round starts. We get the same thing. Here's the picture, here is the name of the date, and here is actually that tells them which table they have to go to. So when the timer is here becomes 0, the date is over, and then we move to the same part where they have actually to rate their date. So here's actually one of the problems that we have, that we do not reset the ratings after each round. This one actually optimally should show empty starts, but it does not. So actually now we have also to rate the date again, and then we're gonna wait for the last round. The organizer will start the last round, and here is our date again. Yeah, so now after the last date is over, we need also to rate the last date and send rating. And now we get to see everyone that we have, the participant get to see everyone they have met in this event, and then they choose which one they actually want to share their contact info with. So we choose Miguel and Michael, and then we click for continue. And actually we get here, Michael actually liked you, and here is their or her contact info. And then we end up with a nice message. We hope you enjoyed.
So a few reflections on the Agile workflow and our experience of it during this project. We all thought that was a very interesting project, and especially during Sprint 0, we thought that this was very educational, and we learned a whole new way of approaching programming and development of systems, learning about the entire design process and all of those things was new to me, at least. And we had some difficulties while we were going to construct our first tickets. It was quite difficult to see so early on in the project how we could split up the work in equally or tickets of a correct size, because we didn't really know how big the workload would be, and also how the project would actually end up, and how many tickets we would need for one specific thing. And even if those things were actually going to be implemented, we were not sure about those kinds of things. But this was also something that we discovered, like the Agile process is all about, being able to adapt. And another thing that we thought was good was transparency. The thing that we could always see what everybody was doing on the Scrum board. And even though at some points we believe that this caused overhead, for instance, if you wanted to quickly shift between tickets to help somebody out, or if we was going to throw some tickets away, or if we had to do some little work in between tickets that were not specified, then we would just carry on and do that without actually considering the Scrum board, because it would take quite some time to actively correct the Scrum board for every little piece of work that we did. And I think that this was also because we are not experienced working with this workflow. So since we could not really have a clear path to begin with, then this became much more realistic for us. We also had some difficulties with Git at some times, because it was, even though it is a very good tool for collaborating and working together on different parts of the project at the same time, there were some issues with merging conflicts, and also really keeping track of all the different branches, where they were going, and what work had been done in each and every branch. So I think that the Agile process overall is really, really good, especially if you have a clear understanding of how the system development process will actually end up. So this was really much of a learning thing for us. And I believe that practicing this workflow can really help make system development much more efficient. But if you're not really used to it, then it might just cause a lot of extra time dealing with those kinds of things. And I think that is everything that I have to say. Thank you very much for listening.